Hey, CLC parents, we hope you are having a great start to your new year. So, last month in January, we talked all about things that you can do to help your kids grow and develop spiritually in 2025. But today, I want to talk a little bit about 3 things that every child needs to hear on a daily basis. Now, when I read this article, to be honest with you, like it was one of those gut punches a little bit, because some of these things I do reflexively, some of these things I don't do reflexively. But the goal is this year that we equip you on being able to pour into your kids spiritually and emotionally, and just be there for them all this year, so that at the end of the year, you start to see those results. I promise you, the more that you pour into them, the more that you're going to see that in their lives. So the first thing that they need to know every single day is that you love them unconditionally. And the verse that we're going to be talking about, the story that kind of we're going to be referencing, when Jesus was water baptized, if you remember the story, the Father said, "This is my beloved Son, of whom I am well pleased." So that showed that God had love for him in that moment. God was pleased for him in that moment. So that's kind of the story that in this article, they took these 3 things that like every kid needs to know. So your kids need to know that they are loved unconditionally, that your love for them is not merited on how good they were that day or what kind of grade they got on that report card, that your love is unconditional. Think about it. We as parents are a reflection of the love of the Father to our kids. And God doesn't put conditions on his love for us, right? If we mess up, we repent, we say we're sorry, and he forgets it. It goes into the sea of forgetfulness, and he doesn't go back to that and linger on that like we do. He really does forget about it. And so your child needs to know that they are absolutely unconditionally loved by you, and they need to hear you say, "I love them. I love you." Now, with teenagers, it's a little bit different. So I have one that is pretty close to a teenager. I have one that's a preteen, and I have one that's older elementary. My close to teenage boy, when I say "I love you," there are days where he will say it back. There are days where he will roll his eyes and go in his room and act like I said nothing. But I know that the more I say that gets down in his heart, and he's going to know that no matter what, me and his dad love him unconditionally. Whether he makes a mistake or whether he, gets an A or has an incredible sports game, it doesn't matter. Our love isn't conditional, and our kids need to know that. The second thing they need to know is that we're proud of them, and that not that we're proud of them for their accomplishments and what they do, like getting an A or scoring the winning goal or hitting the home run, but we are proud of them because of who God created them to be. And so I would emphasize to you, find traits in your kids that are like God-given traits that you are really proud of as a parent. Not necessarily, "Hey, you got the A," but for me, if my kid is kind, that is something that like I am so proud of when people say, "Man, your kid is so kind," or "Your kid is so respectful," or "We love having your kid at our house because they treat us with such respect and they're so willing to be helpful." Those are the type of things as parents that bring joy to my heart. Honestly, more than my kid, scoring 10 points in a game and maybe having 20 rebounds. Like, that's great. And God did give him that athletic ability, but I'm more interested on the character of my child and really being and calling those things out. "Hey, I'm proud of how kind you are. I'm proud of how you're always looking to help someone that may need help. I'm proud of how you reach out to maybe the kid that everyone is ignoring and not paying attention to." Really calling those things out. Again, not saying, "Hey, I'm proud of you because of your accomplishments." Just, "I'm proud of you for who you are and who God's created you to be." And again, God isn't proud of us just because of what we accomplish. God is proud of us because of, our character, because of who we are, because of that unconditional love. And so make sure your kids understand that, like, your love and you being proud of them isn't, you're not daily weighing that out based on a report card or a game, or maybe they had a rough day at school and you got a phone call. Yes, there's consequences, but you want to show them that unconditional love and make sure they realize that, yes, you are loved. We love you unconditionally. However, there are consequences for your actions, but you are loved unconditionally. And third, they need poured into every day and told that they are created with a unique purpose. God has put a different purpose in every single one of your kids. And I'm sure as a parent, you can sit back right now and think, oh yeah, like this kid is really artistic, and this kid is really athletic, and this kid is super caring and nurturing. And so God put different things in them, and you as a parent need to continually reinforce, God has a special plan for you. God uniquely created you. God's put giftings and talents in you. And my favorite verse with my kids since they have been little, and I've prayed this over them since they were, our youngest was a toddler, and couldn't even really talk at that point. But I still prayed this over them every day and prayed over them every day, is Jeremiah 29:11. That God has a plan for them, a plan to give them a hope and a future, not to harm them. Because I know that God has a God-given plan and destiny for them. And so those are 3 things that your kids need to hear every single day from you. Because like we talked about in last month, there are a million different things that they hear every day from their friends, teachers, from media, from music, from coaches. And what you're saying, honestly, can hold a lot of weight as a parent if you're consistent with it. So I would really encourage you, make sure that you are saying these 3 things to your child every day, that they know that they are loved unconditionally, that they know that you're proud of them, not for what they accomplished, but for who they are, and that they know that they have a God-given plan and purpose for their life. And I promise you, if you do that every day without fail, no matter what happens in your child's life, whether they're at the mountaintop or they're in the valley, they're going to know that you love them. They're going to know that you're proud of them, and they're going to know that they have a plan and purpose from God. And I promise you, in those valley moments, that will be the very thing that sometimes brings them to the mountaintop. So hopefully this helped you today. Hope you're having a great week. We are praying for you. We are rooting you on. Know that we are always here standing behind you. And if you need anything, please let us know. And we will see you either Sunday or during the week sometime.